Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to 20 Minutes. This is a channel that analyzes politics, policy, and governance of our great country, Kenya. Now, it is an interesting time to be alive in this country. President William Ruto has deployed dangerous spies as Gen Zs continue to give the government sleepless nights. It should be noted that the National Intelligence Service, also known as NIS, is on high alert as Gen Zs continue to picket and to demonstrate across the country. Now, it is also very important to note that President Ruto has been giving pressure to security agencies, and this includes the National Intelligence Service, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, DCI, National Police Service. Ruto has been giving pressure to these agencies to track down dissent on the proposed Finance Bill 2024. Now, we saw just the other day a Twitter space that was recently hosted by a guy called Osama, was attended by over 50,000 Kenyans. And from this, we get to realize that there are so many people interested in this finance bill. People are no longer ignorant. People nowadays care about the affairs of the country. People understand that this finance bill will impact their lives if it is passed. Now, out of the over 50,000 Kenyans that attended the Twitter space that was hosted by Osama, some of these were very senior government officials. In fact, the president himself at some point was in attendance. Another in attendance was Dennis Ole Itumbi. The government spokesperson also attended the meeting. We must also not forget that in a crowd of people, in an environment where Kenyans are gathered, the National Intelligence Service agents are also gathered and are listening. So we believe that NIS agents also attended the Twitter space meeting and were also listening. The efforts of the NIS of listening to the space was to establish the mood on the ground, to see whether from that space they could establish the leaders of this movement called the Gen Z movement that is demonstrating and picketing against the finance bill. Now, it should not be surprising that the government of Kenya under President William Ruto has deployed undercover agents to track down the uprising of the Gen Zs. Now, this we can see from the recent occurrences. We all know that just recently, barely a few hours ago, there's a guy called Crazy Nairobian, or rather Billy the Goat, who was arrested and later released after an uproar by Kenyans on Twitter.
I want to confirm that we have been able to rescue Billy and save his sound. And I hope you can confirm that this is the Billy. I know we got a notification earlier, and so as LSK we had thought that Billy had been freed. But when we sent someone to the station, we found that Billy was not there and he had not been booked. And so the moment we got a tip-off, we ran immediately to try and find Billy. So Billy,
I'm safe.
and so the moment we got a tip-off, we ran immediately to try and find Billy. So Billy,
I'm safe. Thanks everyone.
Dr. Omondi has also been arrested on Sunday, 23rd June at 1 p.m. while conducting a blood donation drive in Ngara, Nairobi. Now, the more latest one is Leslie Muturi, who is the son to Kenya's Attorney General Justin Muturi. He was arrested by being taken out of his car by police officers who linked him to the Gen Z's uprising. Now, it is important to remember that all these efforts have been principally engineered by the National Intelligence Service. These are the guys who track down, they spy on you, they tap your phone call, they track you down, and then the likes of police use the data. Now, even so, the Ruto administration is still very frustrated because they can't really find or figure out the origin of the Gen Z demonstrations. The Kenya Kwanza administration has toned down. It should be remembered that President Ruto himself, speaking in Nyahururu, remarked that he would have a conversation with the Gen Zs to establish the root cause of the dissent and also to chant the way forward for Kenya as a whole. Now, the leader of majority in the National Assembly, Imani Ichung'wah, who previously had a very fierce stance against the Gen Zs, has also toned down and praised the Gen Zs for being so brave and setting a good example to the leaders. What do you think? Let us know your opinion in the comment section below.